Hey guys, I wanted to post a quick video tutorial about a neat little feature in 3D Coat when texturing and painting. Basically, you can create specially alpha cropped decals of any kind for texture painting and stuff. And what it does is basically it reads the color and it also masks out the shape based on the image that you set up in a PSD. So real quick, let me demonstrate what you can do. So basically, I've selected this brush in the alphas window in 3D Coat. Um, and all I have to do is select the alpha, select whichever paint style settings I want. In this case, I'm using the stamp mode. And I can click and drag out this, this little decal. And I can do that several times in a row, um, anywhere I want. It's basically plastering on a little sticker here onto the object. So like I got this one that I had made, or this guy. And it's really useful if you're trying to like paint like sci-fi mechanical hard surface stuff, because it keeps the color information as well as the clipping information. So you can mask out an actual shape like this. Um, and it also reads the depth information. So like if you raise this up really high, you'll see that it has that normal detail that's kind of protruded off of the surface. Uh, so it basically works like a regular alpha, like here with these little bullet hole cracks, except it not in addition to reading the depth of the alpha, it'll also read the color of it. So that's really that's really useful. And I wanted to real quick show you how to set this up, because basically what you got to do is it's not like a regular PNG or Targa or whatever that you would load in as a 512 by 512 or a 1024 image. You actually have to set up a multi-layered PSD in Photoshop for it to have this little trick. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So basically, I have a couple little texture palettes that I got from somewhere on Google, and I'm just going to open them up real quick to show you how you would set up these. So let's open this guy. No, let's open this guy up in Photoshop. And so as you can see here, we got some really neat designs and stuff. So we want to turn this into an actual like stamp image, like a brush that you would do in like normal Photoshop or ZBrush or whatever. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a design I like, and I'm going to, use the marquee tool to select this guy, and then copy it. And then I've already got another PSD set up. And let me just take a second to explain how this works. So basically, you need a color layer, a height map layer. This reads the height information, and it reads it as basically a black and white bump map. And then you got specular information and a race mask. So basically, I'd start off with like pasting my image into the color layer, and then size it up a bit, and then put it in the center, um, just like so. And real quick, bit of warning. So basically, 3D Coat reads all brushes as like a circular image. So notice how these brushes here, they don't extend to the very like corners of the 512 by 512 texture space, because it's going to clip a little circle around the image. So you need to be aware of that circle so you don't like grow the entire image to take up all 512 by 512s. It needs to fit within like this invisible circle parameter right there. So that's why it's like not taking up the whole image. So anyway, let me just magic wand tool the outer, and let's magic wand tool the inner white parts, because the white parts color information will be captured. And let's say we want this to be just cropped out, and we want this to like we want this to be painted, but the inside and the outside to not. Okay, so now we got our texture or our color layer. Now we got to create a copy of that, and what I do is for this copy I say Control U in Photoshop to bring up this hue saturation, turn that all the way up and make it a purely white image, because this height map is going to be a black and white height bump map layer image. So it's going to read the white and black values and determine, okay, this is the height, this is the depth, whatever. And also, this is really important. This gray area here, it has to be an exact color value in order to be properly read by 3D Coat. Otherwise, it's going to give you some kind of weird height information. Like you'll have a very faint circle of like normal map depth if it's not set to this exact value, which let's see what that exact value is. Um, yeah, so it should be 127 by 127 by 127 in the RGB color value. Or you could just like kind of type in that exact number for that pixel color value in your color palette in Photoshop. But it has to be that exact shade of gray to be read properly by the height maps. Okay, so anyway, let's merge that down. So we got our height map layer, our color layer, show that. Specular and erase, I've actually never played with those, so I don't totally know what those do. But anyway, so let's save this guy, and I'm going to save it in my alphas library. I already have like a bunch of custom ones that I've made, like for fabric stitches and other such whatevers. So I'm going to say um, cool sign 01 or whatever. Save that out. Yes, go back to 3D Coat, and let's go make a new brush. Open this up. Where did we save it? Let's go back to my alphas folder. And where'd that little guy go? Oh, there it is. Cool sign 01. Load that in. Select it, and there we go. Oh, wait. Got to make sure color and gloss channels are on way up here. Always pay attention to that because if like one of these is turned off, then it won't read that particular channel value. Okay, so yeah, there we go. And you've got a clipped out texture that you can use. I'm using the stamp texture where I click and drag and I can rotate and all that stuff. But sometimes you might want to use the stamp drag mode where you could just like, you can size it up depending on where your brush is and it'll just be completely straight. Sometimes it's a little bit more beneficial to do that. And then by default, I think 3D Coat allows you to rotate the angle of the brush using number 0 and number 9 on the keyboard. So like, yeah, you'll notice like I can just like gradually adjust the rotation of each stamp as I'm working to align things perfectly. So yeah, that's a really, really neat feature of 3D Coat that I think really improves the texturing workflow. Like if you're ever doing any kind of mechanical decals or whatever, you just like, you know, make a cropped out layer with a little bit of height and just like paste random stuff all over your model. So I just thought I'd show you guys how that works because initially I didn't understand, and I haven't seen any formal official 3D Coat um, documentation on how that exactly works. So yeah, I just thought I'd spread the word. All right, thanks.